Dungeons and Daddies over the last 2 weeks, and channel my inner, I believe it's Anthony, and just kind of roll with the punches of all the bullshit that's inevitably going to come up with this. I sorted through. I have a ridiculous amount of expansions for this game, and I sorted through what I thought would be the funniest and most cohesive to this game. And I don't really understand how I'm going to make the mechanics work. So this is all going to be on the fly. And it's really just an excuse to see what sort of fucked up hijinks you guys get into and roll some dice.
Sounds good, man.
I like it.
For setting it up.
Yeah, no worries. It required zero setup. I am doing everything theater of the mind. We are doing no maps, and we're just going to see what happens. So I really just had to section off a bunch of cards, and I'm gonna have a beer and smoke some weed and see what sort of bullshit you guys are gonna get into. I'm pretty much gonna let you guys guide this because it's just gonna start in a tavern, and yeah. We're going to start in a tavern, and essentially a bunch of idiots released a god of chaos in a separate campaign, and that god of chaos has now entered this plane of existence and is just causing all manner of chaotic and magical weird things to happen to the citizens in this world. You guys being those citizens, and that chaos god being the dickhead that we released in our actual campaign, because it seems like it just made sense.
Perfect.
So Gunnar is responsible for whatever bullshit happens tonight. Thanks for the excuse, Sean.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm flattered. Thank you for using my concept there.
If the tavern owner's name is Terry, I'm gonna fucking quit right now. Not Terry, Teddy.
Fucking Teddy.
I almost made a knockoff, or not kind of a knockoff character. I almost made Sherry Moonshine.
I would not have been opposed to that.
That would have been pretty great.
Next time. By the way, y'all, I'm sorry for falling asleep. That shit, I can't believe that fucking happened.
It's all good. I think it was Chris's Death Mountain one shot where it was I think the only people that could play was me, Chris, and Dakota. And so me and Dakota each had 2 characters, and I think one of my PCs died, so I was just controlling one, and then I was like, it's getting kind of late. I'm just gonna lay down in bed, and I'll still play. I'm not that tired. And then 5 minutes later, I was just fucking out, and I think we all died anyway.
Yeah, I just I remember kind of repositioning on the couch and hearing Anthony come up and being like, "Guys, Renwick's going," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then I literally closed my eyes and then I opened them and it was 4 a.m. I was like, "What the fuck just happened?"
There were some good times that were had. There was some constant, you were the butt of a couple jokes after there, everybody wait, let's get Blade's opinion. And then it's just silence,
Rightfully so. Well deserved.
And they were like, oh, it looks dangerous. Let's send Blade. Blade, say nothing if that's cool,
Let's bring him back to talk to those Death Knights again.
If you guys want to introduce your characters real quick, just so everybody knows what they're working with, I think we're probably good to start pulling cards, see what the fuck happens.
All right, let me go first because Ugly Jack is a simple human fighter. just one of the most biggest human beings you've ever seen. Totally fucking ripped, and living up to his name of Ugly Jack, covered in scars. Wearing some chainmail and donning a great axe at his belt, but Ugly Jack is covered in scars all over his hands, his face, and his bald head. In fact, most of Ugly Jack's upper lip seems to have been removed, so it is a constant teethy grin as he kind of glares outward, drinking a mug of ale, sitting at the table at this tavern.
And Roran, he's a half orc monk. He's got these kind of like very simple blue robes, like kind of just and like leg wraps, and instead of like pants, like he's got like little like sashes across like his waist, and just like all like from his ankles up to like his like mid thighs, just all like wrapped cloth, and it's just all different shades of blue. He's got his like simple like short but loose like monk robe slash cloak kind of thing, and a very finely crafted quarterstaff leaning up against the table as he sits next to his friend Ugly Jack. Um, and yeah, he's a simple man, doesn't need much. Being a monk, and grew up in the monastery, not having much, just pretty much he's very lean, kind of like Bruce Lee-esque type body. Just all he did was work out and train and the martial arts, but now he kind of like left that because he got bored, and I took the urban bounty hunter background, so he's just kind of using his skills as a bounty hunter of sorts. Yeah.
And at this tavern, you also see a kind of sitting at the table as well, a lizard folk, not wearing any sort of armor really. He's just kind of bare. He's got kind of, if you think of the dinosaur from Jurassic Park, the Dilophosaurus, he's kind of got like two like more like kind of bonyish, kind of, I don't even know what they'd call him on top of his head, but that being said, he's kind of got like a weird, like one eye is kind of like always looking somewhere where the other one is just, a little bit normal, a little maybe cockeyed a little bit, and maybe his jaw kind of jibber jabbering a little bit. And he is donning a rapier on one side of him, and just kind of keeping an eye out. He's I kind of want to go the way I named him Wayne Lizardbrain, because I just wanted him to be a little bit more kind of, he doesn't really think his actions through too much. It's more just like impulse and kind of jumping into muscle memory and just his kind of core reaction to situations.
I like that. And that brings us down to Chris, who I believe just built his character backstory on some random pulls.
Absolutely. My character is Rubidé. He is a Thri-Kreen druid, circle of spores. He's got so he looks like that assassin bug from Rick and Morty. Looks kind of like that. He's got a little pet beetle that sits on his shoulder, carries around a scimitar. He's been searching around because he remembers a passionate night he had with a sexually androgynous creature that came riding in on a tiger, just flashing lightning. And they had such glorious sex, including a piñata full of scorpions, which were busted open. Started doing the right stuff to her nipples. So he joins his friends in the search for true love.
Forgive my stunned silence, sir. Ugly Jack salutes you with respect.
I intentionally didn't unmute my mic because I was laughing too hard. What was the race you're using, Chris?
Thrycreen. It's from the Spelljammer source book.
Gotcha. Well, this is already off to a great start. I should have made you guys make sense of all of your character backstories off of that. That was a great idea. But that being said, let's see. You guys have all obviously met at the tavern. We're going to draw a card to see what it was you guys were doing when the four of you came together as a party. You were all paralyzed from the neck down. I imagine most likely some form of slave trade where they had you caged and magically paralyzed. But at some point, one of you managed to break loose and free the others, and you've made your way to a tavern to we'll celebrate your victory and your freedom. What do you guys want to do? The tavern itself, we'll just say, is standard tavern. Mild amount of people in there, bard softly playing off in the corner, standard gruffy bartender, and yeah.
So, whose fault was it that we all got captured?
Let's roll a d4 for that. We'll say I'm just going down in terms of how you're listed in the chat. That's a 2 on my screen. That is Alec. Roran, what did you do to get everybody captured?
Well, you see, what happens is that we were trying to be sneaky and all that, but Ribade kind of thought he saw his ex lover, and I got excited trying to go after and look for said person thing. I'm still not entirely quite clear on what kind of being it was, but yeah, I think I tipped them off a little bit, and they heard me. So it's kind of a shared fault here, but I will take the blame.
Ugly Jack will punch him in the shoulder and then hand him an empty mug and tell him, beer they're on you. You better take care of that situation there.
I'm sorry.
I need to see the spin-off show of this party already. My God.
Sorry, I was not expecting
you totally,
your voice.
dude. It's cool. You totally fucked us. So the beers are on you. So just handle that. So and then we'll call it good since you kind of fucked us.
Yeah,
I think Roran holds back some laughter a little bit. Kind of just covers his mouth and just yeah, you're right. I got it. I'm gonna go get them right now before uh, you run out. Or again, I don't know. Bye. He just takes off before he busts out laughing in front of Ugly Jack towards the bar, looking for more beer.
While you guys are settling in, we'll say that when you made your escape from the caravan, the lot of you were able to grab a small satchel filled with some goodies. We'll say it wasn't quite small. Like it's a knapsack, if you will. So let's see. Let's draw some items and see what you guys found as you're settling in. All right, well, let's see. We'll go just top down. So Ribbiday, you find Daddy's belt. Daddy's belt, we're going to call that a +1 whip. And we'll say advantage on intimidation checks if you're using the belt. And let's see, next we go down to Lauren. Quite frankly, buddy, you find a big black dick. Just a very large severed phallus.
This is all in the knapsack?
Yep. Yeah, those slavers, man, they were up to something. But this is what you guys find. Oh, God. Wayne, you find a container of Grandpa's ashes. It is labeled, etched in
No, it's just a gift. My cat.
fine, we'll say like fine filigree, but it is in fact a container of ashes. And last but not least, we'll go down to Ugly Jack, who finds 8 ounces of sweet Mexican black tar heroin.
Okay.
That being said, did everybody get that?
Yes.
Just keep track of your own item and we'll probably be fine here, because I'm not going to keep track. I'm going to be forming a discard pile.
I just put on my character sheet.
Perfect.
I don't know if I want to put that. You know what? I'm going to. But yes. I think Roran comes back with a fistful of beers and sees that everyone's already holding their own items that they found, and just sees a severed big black dick on the table in front of his chair, and just lets out a very heavy sigh and puts all the beers down and just kind of sits down and just pokes it with his quarterstaff and kind of just nudges it into his knapsack. So you guys just had to leave me with the shittiest item, huh? Just a fucking dick.
Ugly Jack grabs the beer and begins guzzling it and casually kind of not making eye contact.
Well, you got his cock, so dick for a dick.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with this. God.
Are you just holding it right now?
No,
Like,
I
it's just-
nudged it. I just like took my staff and kind of like held open like my bag and just kind of like pushed it off the table into the bag.
Good to know that you kept that. Duly noted.
You never know. You know, it might, for some weird, awful, terrible reason, come in use some time down the road.
And as you guys are settling in and you're looking at your newfound glorious wonders that you pilfered from the caravan of slavers, you hear, oh my God, from across the room, the bartender, who is a horse with no legs, calls out and says, "Hey, you can't be in here if you're not spending money."
I will stand up and I will make the most angriest face I can, and I will stare down this bartender until he shuts the fuck up about it. Can I make an active intimidation check on this bartender?
You can certainly roll an intimidation check
Can Wayne assist
on this
with-
legless horse. I imagine he's just propped up behind the bar. Like, he's propped up in a chair, so he is facing you, horse face, no legs.
Oh shit! 3 on the die comes out to a whopping 5.
Does he have advantage if I'm helping?
What did you do to help?
I jumped up from the chair, kicked it out, and I kind of had my little like leathery mane, as you would, kind of flutter a little bit.
Yeah, we'll say that's advantage. Why not?
12,
right.
12 on the die becomes a 14.
We'll say that passes. Yeah, on a legless horse bartender, and he just says, "Hey, I didn't mean anything by it. I mean, I figured you're probably thirsty. You lot look thirsty."
I sit back down and continue drinking the beer that my friend clearly just bought from the bar for me.
He's just a legless horse. Like, he might have. I don't even know if that's the guy I talked to. Honestly, I might have stolen someone's beer. I just kind of walked up and he just yelled beer, and then I saw 4, and then yeah, just don't worry about it. Let's just drink this, and don't worry about it.
Ugly Jack slowly sets down the beer as he looks over and says, "You didn't buy this beer? You went and stole me a beer after you clearly fucked us, and then you didn't make good on it. You better go buy us a round, dude. Seriously."
Uh, yeah, okay, yeah, maybe just to get the legless horse off her back. Although, how is he even talking? It's a horse. It's not a centaur. It's just a regular horse.
I can hear you over here. Just because I have legs doesn't mean I don't have ears.
Uh, yes, I would like to purchase 4 more beers, please.
Roll me a perception check.
That was almost a natural 20, and then it was an 8 for 11.
You see like the tavern's relatively busy. There are patrons at the bar, and you notice that they have clearly been served recently. But you see nobody else behind the bar aside from this legless horse. And he calls out and he says, "Well, if you want your beer, you can come get it. I'm not serving you at the tables."
Ugly Jack will push Roran out of the booth.
Okay. Yeah, sure. And he'll just walk up and I guess how much beer or how God, I'm sorry. I'm just still astonished by the fact
I'm
that
gonna
you're
need you to summit mount. What's your point?
uh beer, please. How much cost?
Well, you'd know if you asked for the lot or the last round, but unfortunately, you just stole it from my friends here. And he gestures to 4 people that don't have beers because you never actually interacted with the bartender. You just went and got beers.
Upon hearing that the beers are officially stolen, Ugly Jack drinks them all as quickly as possible.
Roll me a Constitution save.
Sorry, I might have jacked up my mic there. That came out to a natty 20 plus 8, so 28 total.
Oh yeah, you basically like one glug each glass and just boom, 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 and just you pound them, and you're totally fine. Like you shrug it off.
And Warren just chuckles uncomfortably as he watches that happen and then turns back to the legless horse who is somehow sentient. Hey, sorry about that. Well, I would like to purchase some now, if that would be okay.
I mean, if you want to stop being so weird about things, you come in here and one of your friends is a lizard and one of your friends is a bug, and you think the weirdest fucking thing in here is that the bartender's a horse. That's what we're gonna get hung up on. Take your fucking beer. And then you see 4 mugs float across the bar, fill themselves at the tap, and then land on the bar in front of you. And the horse winks because he's fucking telepathic.
I think Roaring just stands there in shock for a good 20 seconds, like just jaw dropped, and then just drops some gold onto the counter, grabs them, and then just slowly backs up back to the table. Guys, he's a fucking horse with telepathy.
I still heard that. You're not that
not
far away.
telepathy.
And then you see the coins lift from the bar, float over, and he takes a very, sticks his front teeth out and just, nibbles on the coin to make sure that it's a real coin. Never breaking eye contact with you as the coins float into his tip jar. And then he starts serving everybody else.
Is nobody else getting freaked out by this? Nobody else thinks this is weird?
Yeah, I totally think that it was weird that you stole a bunch of guys' beers and thought it was going to be fucking cool about it. That's pretty shitty of you. Ugly Jack will grab his beer from you and continue to drink as he just makes merry, kind of looking amongst the crowd.
Wait, we stole those beers. And kind of right out of panic, Wayne is going to take the grandpa's ashes and smash it on the ground, almost like a smoke bomb. And he's going to try to hide under the table.
Roll me a stealth check. If anybody wants to roll perception, since you guys were all actively at the table with him talking.
That is a 14.
19 perception.
6 perception for Ugly Jack.
Yeah, Jack, you didn't see shit. All of a sudden, there was a poof of what you assume was dust. And then your lizard friend just was gone. Sorry, Roran, you definitely saw. And then I'm not sure what Ribiday rolled, but the party's split right now.
I can imagine. Yeah, he's under the table now, but he's kind of looking around, thinking he's completely concealed, but he's not.
Ugly Jack kind of turns to Roran again. And says, Seriously, what was in those beers? He just fucking exploded, dude. What the? Are you serious? What is happening here?
I don't know, but you better be careful because I just saw you chug 4 of them. You might go poof soon too.
Ugly Jack is in a visible panic. He starts sweating.
Just for shits and giggles, that was... Oh, no. It was only a 5 deception.
Roll me insight, though. I don't think Jack's that smart.
9 becomes... Nope, stays at a 9.
Yeah, nope. You realize he's fucking with you, but, it takes you a second.
I glower sourly as I sip my beer in the corner.
I think Roran kind of leans over. Still, not once has he broken eye contact with the talking, legless, telekinetic horse. But he just kind of leans over towards Ribiday. So, do you see your androgynous friend somewhere around here? I kind of invested in your love story now. It sounded beautiful and terrifying and amazing all at the same time. So,
Unfortunately, no, I do not. Nor that magnificent tiger on which they rode. You see, they were a changeling with split personalities. The one was called David. The other, Iggy Stardust. But alas, they are but hidden.
All right. Well, if you see them, let us know. I have some questions with them for them because I'm not gonna lie, I don't really understand how you do it. Like, do you? Never mind. He's just gonna sip his beer.
Wayne is gonna kind of put his head, or not his head, his hand like over up onto the table and kind of like patting around on the top of it to try to find where his beer is.
Rowan is gonna slowly just slide the beer closer until his hand touches it.
And as you guys are sharing this exchange, all of a sudden the bard goes up, has been playing, stops playing, and says, thank you for your time. I'd like to introduce our main act of the evening. And then what you see is, presumably in a rather audacious costume, Lady Gaga, who steps out on stage and performs her other talent, which is ejaculating live bees. And the bees are angry. So now the room is swelling with angry bees. What do you do?
And
Say that
Wayne
again.
is sorry. Go ahead. I gotta think this one through.
I was going to say Riverdale is going to give her a standing ovation and just enjoy the bees.
I like that.
Wayne's instincts is going to kick in, and he's going to flee the table and attempt to make a bite attack on her.
Oh, you're going to attack the performer?
Yes, out of instinct.
All right. Roll me a perception check.
Rowan is losing his shit at this point. I mean, there's a fucking talking legless horse. There's a woman ejaculating bees into the air. He's like having an existential crisis right now.
And for reference, in terms of spatial awareness, the stage would be like probably 20, 30 feet away from you and the bar. Like, you guys are kind of just in the middle of the tavern, if you will. So like there's a fair amount of distance between the two of you. The live bees are not ejaculating on top of your table or anything, or being ejaculated rather. But yeah, what was that perception check, bud?
Perception is 17. So let me get this straight. Was she ejaculating bees or jacking off bees?
She is ejaculating bees, and the bees are angry.
Okay, got it.
But as those come out and you rush over with that perception check, you notice that there are two bouncers between you and the stage. What do you do? Are you still trying to rush the stage? And if so, I believe I'm going to need to roll acrobatics to see if you slip past them with disadvantage, since there's two of them.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm still going to make my way towards her because it's just my instinct. And yeah, to make my bite attack. So it's acrobatics with disadvantage. So with disadvantage, that's 17.
Yeah, you managed to slip right past both of them. These bouncers are, I would say, not much smaller than your friend Ugly Jack, but they are far more handsome, wearing black tunics that are a little too tight. but as they reach out with their massive arms, how do you slip past them? What cool stage entrance do you do as you climb up onto the stage with Lady Gaga mid-act?
So I can imagine he runs through. It's like, and then he like kind of does kind of like the slide, like like on his knees, basically between the two of them, and then pulls himself onto the stage and does kind of like a front flip on with his, and he like lands on the stage, and then like claws come out.
Are you attacking her or the bees?
I mean her dick specifically.
All right, yeah, roll to hit.
If I'm going with just a straight up bite attack, that is a +4 for a man 17s tonight. 17 to hit.
Yeah, that's gonna hit. Roll me damage on that.
1d6 +1. 2 damage.
2 damage. You bite off the tip, which does in fact immediately stop her performance. But now you have a wounded performer on stage, and 2 bouncers that are climbing up on stage a little slow, so they're going to get to you in a second. What is the rest of the party doing as your friend runs up onto stage and bites the tip of the performer's penis off?
Sorry, it's like, how the fuck were we supposed to be ready for that, you know?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna, like, you will take this. All of you are going on this ride with me. I am not chaperoning this alone.
That's why I chose this character. Let's just let it run.
God damn, that was so funny. Oh, if we can see this happening, if Ugly Jack sees this go down, he's gonna turn to the rest of the party and say something like, seriously, guys, you guys gotta, we gotta pay attention here. Look at what this guy's doing. She's obviously a demon. I mean, who comes bees? Nobody comes bees. That's a demon. Our homeboy's on the lookout. He's like slaying the bad guys and shit. So let's get over there.
Oh, we never should have came to this bar. And then he stands up, grabs his quarterstaff, and just sprints over to the stage.
Ugly Jack follows.
Seeing the bouncers charging, Rividay is going to cast Hold Person at 3rd level to stop them both.
All right. Oh man, what is that? What save is that?
It's a Wisdom save, DC 16.
Oh yeah, these guys are not wise, so we'll call that a flat check. Number 1 gets a nat 1. Number 2 also fails. You hold them both. The bouncers are paralyzed. The performer is injured. Your friend has a mouthful of Lady Gaga's penis, and this is where we're at. Suddenly, from backstage, noticing the performer has been charged and injured and the staff incapacitated, you notice grammar Nazis, who are also regular Nazis, exit the stage. Sorry, exit the backstage area onto the stage and immediately swoop Lady Gaga up and drag her off the stage for medical attention. But now all of you are standing on stage or near the stage. The bouncers are paralyzed, and the tavern is watching all of this.
Oh,
Is
God.
going to take the tip of the penis that he bit off and spit it towards the legless horse.
Okay, that's like 90 feet away.
I mean, you've seen me in Jurassic Park, motherfucker.
That's, you know what? That's fair. Let's just call that a flat dex check.
Flat dexterity, and it's not like I'm trying to actually hit him, but it's more just like right towards.
Oh, okay. Do you want to roll intimidation instead? Like, are you just locking eye contact with him as you spit it out?
Yeah, why not? Yeah,
If you're
I
not
think that
trying to
would be
hit him, it sounds more like intimidation.
But if it's going to be, well, I mean, if it's a flat dex check, if, me being a pretty good spitter.
If you want to
Maybe-
hit him, we'll call it a dex check. If you want to intimidate him by just staring him down and spitting it out in his direction, we'll call that intimidation. Your choice.
Let's spit it right at him. Flat dex check. 16.
We'll say that hits. However, I want to see if he would have seen you do that, and he did in fact see it. You see as the tip of that penis soars across the room with pinpoint accuracy and like a surprising amount of speed, given the lack of aerodynamic shape to this site. About halfway across the room, that tip of the penis stops midair and slowly turns back toward you, and then with the same velocity rockets toward you. Roll me a dex save.
Oh, boy. All right, dex. A dex save. Dex save is a 21.
So you essentially, like, as this tip of the penis soars across the room, stops midair, turns around so that it's staring you eye to eye, and then starts soaring back toward you. You literally matrix as this thing flies past you and then just splatters on the wall behind you. And the horse just mean mugs you. But he's telepathic, and he had plenty of time since that was 90 feet.
Wayne is just going to look at him with his like one kind of cocked eye and just kind of jaw shaking a little bit and just kind of be like a weird. The horse guy can't really tell if it's a twitch or if he's winking at him or whatnot, but Wayne is impressed.
And you just hear the horse go and like go back to serving his guests. And the guests are still looking at you guys because that was the main performer, and you just stopped her in her first act.
I think
Good job.
Warren just kind of jumps up on stage through the bouncers that are now kind of paralyzed with magic, and just kind of jumps up next to um, I'm sorry, what's your name again? Not Terry.
Wayne.
Oh, Wayne.
Wayne. Yeah, sorry, Wayne, lizard brain. Just kind of lands next to him and just kind of puts his arm around his shoulder, like, maybe we should go back and sit down and have the rest of those beers. Nothing to see here, people. Just an unfortunate accident, a little mild confusion. Um, he has a severe bee phobia, and he just attacked the source out of pure instinct. I'm sure the performer, Lady Gaga, is just fine. Everyone just go back to your drinks. It's all okay. It tries to lead him back off the stage.
And then all of you hear an ominous voice go, "Thank you for reminding me about the bees." And everybody roll me an animal handling check to see how well you manage around a swarm of angry bees.
Oh no.
Well, that's a +0 for me, so that's a 4.
It's a 7.
+0 for 14.
God damn.
That's a 24 for Riveday.
So you guys see this massive swarm of angry bees, and they are stinging the shit out of you. They are hitting you from any conceivable point that they can find that is not covered by cloth or armor. And you look over, and your friend Riveday and Wayne, it's as if the bees are swarming around them, sort of almost like in a protective bubble, as if they were bee whisperers. But the two of you are going to take 9 damage. And roll me a Constitution save. Low DC, but nonetheless, you are getting stung by several bees.
I'm sorry, a con save from who?
The two that rolled lowest, it was Ugly Jack and Roarin.
Yeah, I got a 14.
That's a pass. You're fine. You're stung. It hurts, but no side effects.
8 on the die becomes a 16. So
Yeah, you pass as well. All right, you guys are fine. So you just take the damage. The bees. Once a bee stings you, they die. So we'll just say the bees die. The rest of them fuck off. And the crowd is now looking at you, and they're growing angry, and they start pounding their fists on the tavern. They all paid to be here and to celebrate and to watch Lady Gaga ejaculate angry bees all over the bar. And you guys just fucked that up. And then in an act of what I assume was viciousness, spit it at their favorite bartender, the telepathic horse, whose name you never asked for. So he's just a mysterious figure off in the distance. And as this crowd starts pounding and chanting, "We want entertainment, replace it!" And they're just getting angry, and it's as if it's like 2 degrees below, ready to light torches and grab pitchforks. Like, they're pretty pissed off, and everybody's been drinking. So, like, you're dealing with an unruly crowd in a tavern whose live entertainment you just... I don't have a good word for what you did there.
So if we're like all on the stage or around the stage area, did they take her to like a backstage area?
Yes, the grammar Nazis, who are also actual Nazis, walked out in lockstep, picked her up, and then carried her off for what you would assume is medical attention.
Can we follow? Can Ugly Jack try to follow wherever they went?
How long does that hold person last, Chris? It's a minute, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
We'll say that you have 30 seconds before the bouncers are unfrozen.
Okay. Maybe I don't do that. Can I do a perception check on like the crowd and see like is there anyone that sticks out in this crowd? Are they a crowd of commoners? Are they a crowd of adventurers? Like,
Well, let's see what the crowd looks like, Chris. Or sorry, Sean. In the crowd, you see Asians who are not good at math.
Thank you.
You also see
Thanks, guys.
a handful of bitches and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm sorry, did you say bitches?
Yes, I did.
I will, of course, point these people out in to my party. Kind of confused.
Ribbiday is going to say, hey, we need to get the hell out of here before these cow fuckers decide to get anxious and attack us. And I can say that out loud because Thry Queen can't talk. So instead, I telepathically transmit my thoughts to whoever I want.
Smart man. I like that.
Yeah, maybe that's a good idea. So everyone just calm down. Lady Gaga's gonna be back out in just a minute once they tape up that penis. Yeah, they'll be fine. We're just gonna we're gonna go, and he's just gonna drag Wayne along behind him. I don't know if he's following or resisting, but he's gonna like pull on his arm and try and to go.
Can as Wayne is being dragged off the stage, can Wayne is going to try to pull the black dick from his knapsack.
Yeah, I mean, if he's pulling you off the stage, we'll say that's just like a free interaction. You're right there. You could just reach in and grab it.
So can I grab his big black dick and kind of, as I'm walking back onto the stage, swing it around in the air like, all right, you guys want some entertainment?
You certainly can. Roll me a. I guess, is that just your entrance or?
Yeah, I kind of like a kind of trying to pump the crowd up a little bit.
All right. We'll say roll me a preliminary persuasion check because the crowd's pretty pissed off that the main entertainment was removed from the stage, and now there's just the lizard who bit the tip of the dick off of Lady Gaga, who canonically you just added the dick. I was imagining her not having one, but you took it there and I rolled with it. So now canonically Lady Gaga has a dick, which you bit the tip off and effectively spit into the crowd. And now you're just waving another severed penis. So they're a little threatened. I'm going to need just a performance check to see how they take this initial turnaround.
Okay. Performance just flat, no disadvantage or anything.
No, we'll just call it a flat check. I mean, they are intrigued. This is something they've never seen before. And that's saying something because they are used to the live entertainment of live angry bee ejaculation. So, like, their threshold is high and you have crossed a line. We're just going to see if they're cool with it or if you're about to get canceled.
Oh man, they're gonna love it actually. Natty 20 on that for a 26.
Oh yeah, they fucking love it. They actually never really liked Lady Gaga. It was just one of those things where like she got really popular in all the taverns in the surrounding towns, and the tavern was really just trying to keep the biggest acts it can find. And there's one tavern in the town, and these poor people, like they work so fucking hard, and they just want to go out and see live music. But instead of playing live music, Lady Gaga is going on her solo thing, and she's changing her performance, and it's not for the better, and nobody was happy about it. So they're actually thoroughly pumped about everything that you just did. How do you capitalize on that momentum? And what is the rest of the party doing?
Can we see what her former bodyguards are doing?
I suppose right about now would have been when they got unfrozen. Like I'm just gonna roll a flat check to see how they take this. We'll say, I think if the crowd is behind you and Lady Gaga's already been carted off, I'm gonna say just a DC 5 flat check. If it's above 5, you're good. They're gonna go to the back and just check in. And yeah, you're good. They were like, you know what? I don't know what the fuck just happened, but like we both failed to protect her, so we're just gonna pretend it didn't happen, and they just go on about their business. And the crowd is now like salivating to see what you're gonna do next.
I think Roran just kind of like scoots his way off stage, trying not to draw attention to himself. And
Roll me a stealth check.
I was gonna actually toss the dick back to him.
We'll see if we'll base it on his stealth. If he's able to slink away since you were preoccupied, like waving the giant dick around, then then you can't throw it at him because you don't know where he went. He disappeared into the crowd. But if he fucks this up, then yeah, you can chuck a dick at him by all means.
that was 11 on the die for an 18.
Roll me a perception, Will.
Oh, this is not good. Perception is not my strong suit. Fuck, 17.
Ah,
Yeah, you didn't see that. He was trying to drag you off the stage. You slinked away and whipped out the giant black dick, and somehow won the crowd back over, or at least their attention for the moment. and your friend just disappeared into the crowd.
I guess Wayne will he'll pass back and forth at the front of the stage and be like, well, Lady Gaga will be right back. And he's kind of like hitting the dick in his hand like it's like a club almost, like he's almost interrogating.
For the record, I don't believe rigor mortis works if it's severed. Therefore, you're using it as if it were a club, but it's pretty floppy.
Yeah, it's like
it's more of like a
and it's wrapping around the back of my hand.
Oh God,
I get it.
Jesus Christ. And at that moment, fuck's sake.
Can I throw it? I just want to be like, let's see how well your unicorn bartender does, and I'm going to throw it once again at the unicorn.
Wait, you're chucking
the horse. The horse. Sorry, not the unicorn.
You're chucking that dick at the horse?
Yeah, just to see if it was just luck or, you know.
All right, yeah. How do I want to do this? He would have been distracted, so we'll call it passive. We'll call it DC 12, sleight of hand. If you get above that, he didn't see you do it, and then that dick came out of nowhere.
Came out of nowhere.
Sleight of hand?
Yeah. Just to see if he sees it coming from across the room, or if you chucked it covertly.
Let's just see. 19 on the die for a dirty 30.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, he didn't see that coming, and it hits him so hard that because he has no fucking legs, you knock him out of his chair, and he just falls flat on the ground, and you just hear like a horse like behind the bar. But as that happens, a man on the brink of orgasm stumbles out from behind the stage and says, "The show must go on, and you must carry it on." And he points to Ribidae, seeing that Wayne is kind of just getting violent again, and he's not sure how that's going to bode well with the crowd.
I think at this point, Ugly Jack is going to turn to Ribidae and roar and just go something along the lines of, so this guy is going to get us kicked out or potentially maybe killed. Probably not, but I think we should be making plans to stay elsewhere tonight. But seriously, though, how many Asians that are bad at math do you need to make a fortune off of a small amount of black tar heroin? Seriously, you guys.
I mean, probably not a lot. Like maybe like 3. Are they? It also depends if they're interested in your black tar heroin.
You guys are having this conversation out in the crowd, right?
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to see which group of people you happen to be standing by. And that is the bitches. So we're going to say there's think like a college sorority, but like the cool sorority that's like just real fucking mean. And you just hear them subtly like staring at you and insulting, and when you look over, they just like look back at each other and they laugh. But the Asians who are not good at math, and a man on the brink, and Arnold Schwarzenegger are in the crowd and otherwise unaware of what's going on.
After getting called out, Ribidae would have wild shaped into a baboon. And then started jumping across tables trying to escape.
Roll me a dexterity check with the baboon stat block to see how well you get across these tables.
9.
Yeah, you hit like the first table decent, and that second table, like, you kind of wobble a little bit. That third table, you just like you run chest, like you fall too low, and your chest just slams into it, and you hit the floor. And everybody saw it, but you're not on the stage anymore. And the man on the brink of, of orgasm just says, "Well, I guess this is the finale," and then just blows a load on stage and walks off because this is what this has come to already. Literally. So
Did you throw a pun in there, you son of a bitch?
I couldn't help it. You guys
Do I-
are like, this is the most stressed I think I've ever been, but also the hardest I've ever laughed in terms of role playing games.
If Ribidae would have seen those bitchy girls acting bitchy, he would have started grabbing his shit and throwing it at him.
Roll to hit. We'll say just oh man, I guess that's a thrown weapon, so a dex check, and since you're a baboon, add your proficiency.
$18.
Oh yeah, that definitely hits. You hit like the head bitch square in the face, and she like wipes it off, and then she looks down at her hands and sees what it was, and looks up at the baboon, and just like ugly sobs as she runs off, and then all of the bitches follow her, being like, "Oh, you come back! It's fine, we can fix this." And the bitches are now out of the tavern, and you're left there with a group of Asians who, for some reason, you just know are not good at math. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, I assume, probably like, we're talking like early Arnold Schwarzenegger, like ripped, smoking a cigar that's got like a little bit too much ash on the end. So he's clearly just been like slow puffing for a hot minute and just like silently watching in the corner.
Ugly Jack will try to sell the Asians heroin.
How would you like to go about that? You walk over, and because I don't feel comfortable doing it, I will not be attempting an Asian accent, but every Asian just sounds like me. And they speak in like unison. It's a little creepy and unsettling. But hey, maybe it's a cultural thing. And the Asians who are not good at math in unison are just like, "What is it that you want? I'm sorry, you're trying to sell us what now?"
You're trying to sell what now?
So, Ugly Jack will pull about an ounce of that sweet Mexican black tar heroin that he scored from his last job, and he will package it. And he will break up this ounce into 8 separate baggies, and do his best to kind of convey that it's like an investment, that this could turn a great profit for them, and that it is for sure worth all of the coins they can put their hands on, and then some, and or anything in their pockets right now to trade for this investment opportunity. It's not an illegal, powerful narcotic. It's a investment.
But the investment is that you're selling us drugs, and then we just sell the drugs for more than we bought them from you.
Exactly. Now you're getting it. It's called capitalism.
Oh yeah, we are very familiar with capitalism. Yes, like we know what we're doing. I mean, come on, and they're all saying this in unison and just looking around and like nodding at each other, clearly trying to pretend like they understand what what you're getting at.
Plus, if
and
you
they say,
if
well,
you want to use it and instead of sell it, then it will probably make shitty things like this concert awesome.
So so you're saying like if we want to be capitalists, then what we need to do is we need to buy the heroin from you and then use it ourselves, and then that will generate us money.
Yeah, see, so what you do is
Because
if you buy the heroin from me, then you use like at least like half of the heroin, right? And then whenever you're done using a bunch of heroin, then whatever's left, then you sell that for like 10 or like 20 times more than I'm gonna sell this to you for, because I'm giving you a good deal, you know.
Roll me persuasion to see how they receive this business offer.
Okay, so this is a roll at a -1. 10, so 9.
They're not quite sold. They're, something about that. Like, I just don't. And they're like kind of looking and pointing at each other. They're like, do you? Because I don't. I mean, because if we buy the drugs and then we do the drugs, then we can't sell the drugs. And like, math is not my strong suit, but I'm pretty sure that like we come out on the wrong side of that one.
Can Angry Jack kind of stoically glare at them and say in a gruff undertone, as intimidating as possible,
No, seriously, you should buy these drugs for reals before my lizard friend over there decides he wants to buy some more dicks.
I tell you what, you said just like whatever's in our pocket, right? Like that's how drugs work. Like is a barter system, right? Yeah, because capitalism and stuff.
exactly.
Perfect. Well, in our pockets, we've got, and then they all reach into their pockets, and one of them pulls out. Although they're all mimicking the same thing. So like they all reach in their pockets and place something on the table, but only one of them actually puts something on the table, and it is a homemade cum-stained Star Trek uniform, which to you looks incredibly futuristic and like a little dirty.
I will I will happily trade 1 ounce of sweet Mexican black tar heroin for this uniform.
Oh, that was smooth, but we are shrewd businessmen, and since you have did you divide all of the 8 ounces, or did you just siphon off 1 ounce, or did you do 8 separate ounces?
I broke up 1 ounce into 8 separate packages to make it seem like they were getting a better deal, you know?
Oh, so you took 1 ounce and broke it up 8 ways. So it is like just like a very tiny amount of powder.
Correct, but they wouldn't know that because they're bad at math. So 8 packages is probably a lot.
That's smart. Yeah, no, I mean, clearly, numbers game. We're practically ripping you off. I mean, we should be giving you more. I mean, we have nothing else to give you, but I mean, like this uniform, come on. This is a solid deal. And then you see 8 separate hands reach out and grab the 8 separate packages. And yeah, you now have a cum-stained homemade Star Trek uniform to do with what you will.
Excellent. I immediately remove my chainmail and try to squeeze into this, I hope, stretchy fit leotard.
We'll say that because this is technically an uncommon magic item, that it actually retains the same benefits of your chainmail. It is a little stiff though. Like you're gonna have to break it in. So we'll say like you'll take
and it's
you'll take
kind of crunchy.
disadvantage. You'll take disadvantage on your first dexterity check as you break in your new cum-stained Star Trek uniform.
All right, sounds good. With
I'm
my
going to mark that down so I don't forget.
with my heroin selling days now behind me, possibly Ugly Jack will probably return to drinking at whatever table he was at originally.
By the way, presuming just based on your sheer size, this uniform does not fit great. It's like
I imagine like
it's
a wrestler's
about a size and a
unitard.
half too small.
Right, I imagine like a stretchy like wrestler's unitard type, but Star Trekky.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, it practically looks like a singlet. While the drug deal's happening, what's the rest of the party doing?
Ribbit would have went up to Arnold Schwarzenegger and started picking at his hair.
No, monkey, what are you doing?
And just do that while all that's going down.
Well, I suppose I haven't really groomed myself in a while. I mean, nothing outside of it normal. It kind of feels like a head massage. This is nice. I don't like this.
I think Warren's gonna sit back and wait to see what Wayne has up his sleeve next after he just chugged, or not chugged, although that would have been funnier, chucked a large black dick at a quadriplegic horse.
Telepathic horse.
Quadriplegic telepathic horse. And probably drinking everyone else's beers that if like other party members' beers that weren't empty. He's just kind of just too sober for this. He's like, I can't. How did I even end up with these people?
Wayne is, I mean, he's
Yeah, you're still up on stage, aren't you?
yeah.
and well, technically speaking, a guy did come out and then give the grand finale, like kind of accidentally because he was just already masturbating. But I guess the show is over and the crowd is kind of settling down now. I think you're still on stage holding, or no, you did chuck the black dick, but
the day. Was there like an area of effect on that blast off that guy did? Like, did I get hit by that shit?
Roll me a dexterity saving throw to see if you got hit by the spray.
Okay.
We'll call it DC 12. I'll be transparent on some of these. 16? Yeah, no. You don't quite matrix dodge it, but you definitely like step aside and it lands where you were standing. And the guy's just like, "That's showbiz," and then he walks off.
So at that point, I think Wayne would maybe make a beeline towards the tavern door to get out. Maybe trying to jump past the guards and fly his way through.
The guards did leave. When the guards were unfrozen, they took stock of the situation and they were like,
okay.
Let's count our losses. And they just went back behind stage.
So, yeah, Wayne's going to water walks, like style, like running his way towards the door, towards the exit.
Roll me a dex check as you run across tables and through a crowd.
22.
Oh yeah, you like seamlessly after watching your friend try to do the same thing and basically like check himself into a table about halfway across the room. You actually managed to get all the way across the room. You are now at the exit door.
And I'm going to make my way out.
All right, so you step outside. Let's see. And then we flash over to the rest of the party. We have a baboon who is currently grooming Arnold Schwarzenegger. Ugly Jack, who I assume is taking in his new costume that he swindled some Asians who are bad at math out of. And honestly, Ribbiday, I totally am drawing a blank of what you're doing because this is really hard to keep track of. You guys are fucking chaotic.
Ribbiday is
I'm
in
the
fact the baboon.
Oh yes. Oh fuck. I missed. Who am I missing here? No, that was everybody, right? Roran was just chilling. That's what it was. You were off to the side. So Roran, I assume most of the party would see the giant lizard man run across tables and get to the exit and step outside. You see your friend grooming a random patron. One guy off to the side in a stiff new uniform, and the other guy's just chilling and wondering how the fuck he got himself here and what poor life choices led to him being in a tavern with you fuckheads. But as your friend exits the building and your other friend is grooming Arnold Schwarzenegger, what do you guys do?
I turn to Roran and I say,
Well, this is about time where we just, say fuck it and move on.
we can't let the lizard out there by itself. And and in the sense of saying fuck it and move on, Ugly Jack will pull a pint of oil out of his pocket, pour it all over the table, light that bitch on fire, and then make his way to the exit as well.
And then from behind the bar, you just hear the nameless bartender call out, "Does anybody smell smoke? Like, seriously, I smell smoke." And then everybody starts panicking and running out. But there is just a legless horse behind the bar smelling smoke as the tavern catches fire.
No. I think Roran would
Ugly
feel
Jack
kind
gives
of
no fucks. He just leaves.
By the way, the patrons at the bar, since we never talked about that, there were a handful of people at the bar. They were profoundly handicapped. So there is a quadriplegic horse behind the bar and a bar full of profoundly handicapped patrons, and you just lit the bar on fire. And then just for shits and giggles, just to see where this goes, behind the bar, as if it were like a musket mounted on the wall in like a hunter's cabin, there is what looks to be like a glowing metal ring mounted on like a placard, if you will. The ring is it's larger than like a normal ring. It's probably like I don't know. It's like if I were to guess, like a inch and a half diameter. And it's just like a magical glowing thing on a placard behind the bar, and then a bunch of very handicapped people, bartender included, behind the bar as the tavern is going up in flames, and your friend Wayne has already left the building.
Can Roran see? Are they on like some sort of like high fantasy wheelchair type device, or are they just like, were they just like placed on these stools to hang out there until somebody came and picked them up?
I mean, they're profoundly handicapped in like a variety of ways. So some of them might have like stumbled in on their own. Some of them might have needed help. Either way, this is a very handicap-friendly bar, and this tavern doesn't like to discriminate, and it's rude of you to not even have noticed or acknowledged their presence.
Well, this is an oil fire, which you can't put water on to put out. Yeah, I think Warren's just gonna run up to the bar and just yell, "Get the fuck out, and then try and pick the horse up and put him back on his weird wheelchair chair thing. Although I am not strong.
You're gonna go try to pick the horse up by yourself.
Maybe I'll look to
You are a
Arnold
half-orc.
Schwarzenegger.
I'm sorry, wait, what?
Maybe I'll look to Arnold Schwarzenegger and just be like, hey, you look big and strong. Can you horse chair? Fire.
Roll me persuasion.
Since I threw the black dick with such precision and accuracy, could that be like, if it's right near the horse, be an obstacle that they have to overcome?
Are you trying to make it harder for the handicapped people to escape the burning building?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, what would realistically happen?
I mean, the large black penis is on the floor next to the quadriplegic telepathic horse behind the bar.
It is a fresh kill, meaning a flaccid penis. Like, it would be extra, like, dangerous in terms of slipping conditions.
Yes, if somebody attempts to physically remove the horse from behind the bar, they will have to contend with the obstacle that is now a rather large black penis that is on the floor beside the horse.
I rolled a 6 persuasion. Oh wait, no. I'm sorry. You said persuasion, right?
Yeah.
That's actually a 2. 3 on
A
the die,
two?
-1. Or a 2.
Yeah, no. He looks at, like, he doesn't actually even hear you. He is in heaven right now. Like, there's a baboon that is, like, grooming his hair, and it feels like the best head massage he's ever had. He doesn't even realize the building's on fire. That's how bad your persuasion was. And the fire is spreading, by the way. I'm not clocking this. I'm kind of just rolling with how this is playing out based on what actions you guys are doing. But, like, the table was on fire. Now the booth is on fire.
Jesus Christ.
And, okay, there is some good news. The last patrons outside of all of the profoundly handicapped people and the quadriplegic horse, to make it out, like the rest of the patrons have made it out. The last ones that you see leaving the building, though, is a cluster of heartwarming orphans. So, like, that's good. You know, at least there's a, you know, like a positive takeaway from this. But now the booth is on fire, and there's still a bunch of handicapped people, and a bartender that did not deserve what your friend did to him. I'm pretty sure that was a hate crime, and, like, also sexual assault.
I mean, I don't think so. I think it's more of a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, you were acting with your lizard brain, so that'll hold up in court, right?
Yeah, did I don't know if I even saw Ribbiday turn into a baboon. I think I might just think this is a random baboon.
Roll me an insight check. We'll just call it like a DC 12 insight to see if you realize that your friend. Oh wait, no, you were up on stage when you shifted, right?
No, I think I was still down in the crowd.
Oh, that's right. The the man on the brink of orgasm pointed at you to have you carry on the show, and instead you turned into a baboon and ran off. So yeah, he probably didn't see you. But
yeah, I rolled an 11.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
But
so yeah,
seeing the fire spreading, and now a collection of short people, Ribbiday is going to jump off and scatter across the table so he gets to the orphans, and run across the top of their heads towards the door.
So you're gonna run past the orphans as they're exiting the building?
Yep.
I like it. All right, yeah, no. And then Arnold, as the head massage stops and he feels you kind of kick off and run off, he's like, "Oh, and then he like looks up and he like snaps out of it and sees the fire, and then he looks over at Roran and he's like, what? Like, why didn't he say anything? And then he just like runs and immediately starts like picking up the profoundly handicapped people. But he's piling them onto his shoulders, like 2 or 3 on either side. And then he runs out of the building with everybody that was at the bar. Unfortunately, he did not see that there was a quadriplegic horse behind the bar. But all the profoundly handicapped people have been saved by Arnold. The fire is now spreading onto the walls and the floor in the center of the building.
Mm-hmm. I literally, I mean, I guess I would be shitty if I didn't at least try, so I will try and kind of roll the horse back onto the chair. I know it's probably not gonna happen, but I gotta at least make one attempt before I fucking book it.
Or slips on the dick.
You're such a good adventurer. You know, save the barkeep. I'd say let that bitch burn while you take that ring.
So we're gonna make this a 3-part check. So actually, you know what? We're gonna call it a 2-part check. It might become a 3-part check. Roll me a perception check to see if you see the penis that unfortunately knocked the horse out of his chair.
Oh my god, I'm rolling dog shit. That's 6 total for perception.
All right, you don't see the penis right next to him, and much like a banana peel on the ground, that could cause issues. So I'm going to need a dexterity saving throw. We're going to call it DC 14 to see if you slip on the severed penis.
It's physically hurting.
That's dex save. That's 19.
Okay, you do manage to stay on your feet. Now roll me a strength check to see if you can carry a horse. And for the sake of not being put on a FBI list, I'm not going to Google the weight of a horse without its legs, but I would assume it's pretty fucking heavy. So we're going to call this like a DC 16 strength check to see if you can like just adrenaline fueled pick up a horse body and carry it out of the tavern.
Keeps on going off the table. Oh no. That's a 9.
You fail to pick him up, and then he just looks at you and he says, "Leave me."
Okay, yep.
No, don't
sorry,
really leave me. What are you doing? Just fucking drag me. Don't try to pick me up. You're not strong.
Okay, I'm gonna first leap up and grab the ring and kind of just like shove it somewhere in my robes or something, and then I'm gonna give it one solid pull. If he doesn't move, then I want to burn alive.
Yes, the fire is spreading, but for shits and giggles, we'll say that it takes you a while, like a little bit longer than it should, and the flames start to like lick at the horse's lack thereof feet, so I guess tail, as you are finally exiting the building. And he is just like blowing down at his tail, trying to blow out the cinders that are singeing his tail. But you do manage to pull the barkeep to safety. But like, nobody's going to consider you a hero. Like, it was pretty sloppy. They're just happy the bartender didn't burn alive.
I'm just gonna run. Like the moment I get him out the door, I'm just gonna sprint. Like just push past all of my friends and just be like, just go, run, and just sprint
Which,
off.
speaking of, the first person out of the building was Wayne. And when Wayne saw what I assume was like a blaze inside of the building through the windows, and then sees the entire building exiting or being like weirdly carried out by Arnold Schwarzenegger or dragged out by a very not strong half orc that looks like they'd be strong. How do you react to that situation as you're like, you see this crowd pouring out, but also kind of the people you know?
I mean, he would have just ran out. Like, I feel like he would have just exited the building, maybe felt the heat against his back, and just kept running. Like, just fuck them all. He's just trying to get out of danger himself. So, like, I don't know, like, in terms of like what the outdoor area looks like, or like what the.
Yeah, so you guys enter into like a town square. We'll say there's like a handful of shops and some residential businesses. Like it's a smaller section of a town, like a downtown area of a slightly larger like village. Not a terribly large town, but like all of your normal stuff. So, your smithy, your Fletcher, your general store. This is the only tavern as we established, and that's why they had to cave and let Lady Gaga play there. But there are a handful of like other, shops and trinkets and like places to go do things, everything except a guild hall, because why would you ever put a guild hall in anything if you couldn't go in it?
Yeah, Alec. I mean, yeah. Too soon? Too soon? That was a great burn, by the way.
For brevity's sake, and thank you. I was trying to fumble my way through that one. I was like, you know what? Just deflect on somebody else and humor. But for sake of brevity, I assume the party eventually meets back up. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. I'm just trying to gauge where everybody's at and the chaos as you guys basically both committed attempted manslaughter and assault, and then also arson, but then also kind of were heroes. It's a very gray area with everything that you guys just did.
Warren would have booked it as fast as possible, like with his also stolen ring that I'm sure the horse saw. But like,
yes, that is also grand theft because that was a magical item and it was above 3,000 gold. And so yes, you did save him, but also technically committed a felony at the same time, while your friend lit their establishment on fire.
Don't forget about I sold some heroin in there.
Oh yeah, and there was a drug deal that happened, but like not even like a like the drug deal was shady in terms of drug deals, which was thoroughly impressive. And I'm not sure it was a fair trade. I'm not really sure which side won there, but your friend has a new outfit, and it doesn't leave room for the imagination.
Yeah, but he 100% would have been gone. Just full movement speed, action to dash, bonus action, step of the wind, just 120 feet in 6 seconds. He's just gone.
Yeah, ugly Jack would have tried to chase after his departing lizard friend. So I imagine at least 3 of us are running down a main street or an alleyway or something.
Or maybe as we're departing, are there any other taverns, or is it the only one in town?
Canonically established earlier in this episode, this was the only tavern, and that's why they had no choice but to cave and let Lady Gaga play. There are plenty of other businesses. If there's anything in particular you're looking for, I will roll a die and see if it is there. Because I did not make up a town for this.
Are there like guards in this town? Is there any like policing faction of some sort?
I would say there's like every now and then, you might see like a pretty tame guard, but it's a pretty quiet town. Not a lot's happening. Like they have patrols, but it's more just like they're stationed there in case something happens, but they're not in large number, and like things are quiet. They're not too worried. They're more of like waiting on a call as opposed to thinking some shit's gonna happen. And a lot of them are distracted by the tavern that's currently on fire.
I would like to approach one and report a bunch of Asians doing heroin lighting fires.
God damn it, Sean. All right. Yeah. What do you tell the guards?
Listen, there were these shady Asians, and they were really shitty at math. They were like visibly shitty at math, and it was terrible. And then they were like, "Hey, watch this," and they were like lighting shit on fire, and I was like, "You shouldn't do that." And then they were like, "Hey, you want to buy some heroin?" And I was like, "What? No, that's bad for you. That's illegal." And then I left. So I just wanted you guys to know there's a bunch of Asians who are super bad at math, visibly bad at math, and they are lighting fires and trying to sell people heroin. It's pretty rough around here. Your town's really going downhill. It used to be a nice place.
So what you're saying is there were Asians who were bad at math doing a drug deal in the tavern, and then after their drug deal, they lit the tavern on fire, and then they just ran away.
I don't know what they did. They tried to sell me some heroin, and they were lighting fires, and then I left because that's like shady.
Roll me a deception check to see if they buy it.
Okay, this is a -1. We're looking at 2.
All right, and for their insight, I'm going to say it's just a flat check. Yeah, they rolled higher. He's like, something about this just doesn't add up. And then he kind of like squints at you. He doesn't quite understand like why he doesn't trust you or like what's shady about you, but he definitely doesn't buy your story.
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to do my part and help you guys out. I mean, there's a lot of crazy shit going down. Obviously, I mean, the tavern lit itself on fire. Well, I mean, seriously, go pat down some of those Asians. There's got to be some heroin on them somewhere. They were trying to get me to buy it. I swear, it's true. Scout's honor.
Well, we always appreciate an anonymous tip. But speaking of anonymous, what's your name?
He just turns and leaves.
What's the rest of the party doing right now?
I think Roran would have circled back to meet up with Ugly Jack, noticing that he just engaged the guards, thinking it was a terrible idea, and he's just like, okay, maybe he needs help. So he just kind of like circle around still at like a full sprint and just kind of like running back towards him.
He's like, Ugly Jack's like actively trying to like speed walk away from the guards.
Is the cop staring after Ugly Jack?
Let's see. Nope. He just thought that was a really weird interaction, but he is like a little suspicious.
All right. If Ribiday gets the impression that that guard is staring after Jack, he's going to throw shit at his face.
I forgot you're still at that boon. That lasts like what, an hour for Wild Shape?
Yeah.
Heard. All right, yeah. I mean, he definitely like he was weirded out by it, but he's still technically on duty, so he just remains at his post, and he's scanning around. But like, you're not living rent free in his brain. There, Roran, or sorry, Jack. In the meantime, I believe you said Roran just took off sprinting and made his way back to Jack. Ribiday is monitoring the guard just to cover Jack's ass. Where's Wayne at?
So when Wayne left the establishment, I think he probably would have just been looking for a place to hide. Like, are there like trees or anything in the area, or a bush?
You're in like a standard town. You guys were kind of in like a town square area, so like maybe a couple of smaller trees toward the center, and then around the ring, like a row of vendors, and then shops and residentials kind of behind that. Like if you're trying to hide, there's enough clutter in the alleyway that you could justify. Like if you're trying to move from like cover to cover, and be sneaky about it, you can roll stealth, and we'll see how well you navigate the city without being obvious.
Yeah. So I would imagine, I don't know. I kind of would see Wayne as he ran out try to either find a tree or a shrub, something to hide in. But as the rest of his party like came out of the tavern, him trying to find a kind of bouncing from maybe shrub to shrub or tree to tree, whatever, to get closer to his party. So as soon as he saw this baboon throwing poo at this guard, he might be provoked. So I can roll a stealth if you'd like to have it, just kind of see if I was actively able to go from cover to cover.
Yeah. We'll see how well you navigate cover to cover as you're closing in on that.
Okay, so straight up, just stealth.
Yeah, and in terms of transparency, the guard rolled 5, so it like you're probably gonna have a pretty good time. Your friend was very distracting. He's gonna have a hard time having seen you, I guess, get into position.
Okay, gotcha. So 16 on the stealth check.
Yeah, he is completely unaware that you're even in the area. That being said, Roran, now that things have calmed down, I assume you've probably pulled that ring out, or that magical, rather large ring. Do you want to roll Arcana? See if you know what it is?
Yeah. I think he would have like skidded to a stop in front of Ugly Jack, and then just kind of like about face and just started speed walking off with him. Like, why are you talking to guards? Also, I found this really cool ring. I'm pretty sure it is. That's not bad. 16 Arcana.
Oh, you lucky man. I said it is DC 16. What you find and recognize is a cock ring of alacrity.
What the fuck?
It is so full disclosure, I actually have like a nerd expansion pack that has a bunch of like D&D references. I tried my best to find as many as I could and work them into the decks I built for tonight. So you might actually get some items that are genuinely like D&D applicable items. The cock ring of alacrity. I'm going to say, since alacrity means brisk and cheerful readiness, I will say that you have advantage on perception checks. Or sorry. Yeah, well, oh fuck, how do I want to do this? Sorry. We will say you cannot be scared. Or like surprised. You are immune to surprise rounds should that happen. However, when you become aware that you are being attacked, you immediately orgasm.
I punch Roran. Good find. And I punch him in the arm.
Yeah, I just
Roll for initiative.
And oh my god! I mean, I guess I should try it, right?
What's the
It would be weird if I didn't use it, right? I mean, it's a magical item. Be weird if I didn't use it, right?
Ugly Jack just continues to speed walk.
Do you put it on?
I guess as he's walking, he's just gonna kind of like do that awkward kind of like waddle almost as he just like shoves his hand in his pants and tries to
So
slide this thing on mid walk.
I promise I didn't plan this, but I'm pretty sure that you guys rolled dick checks before we started the session.
We did, and I rolled a 3.
Yeah,
What?
it doesn't fit.
But
It
isn't
does
it a
not fit at
magical
all.
item? So it should.
You know what? Rules lawyered. Well played. It definitely doesn't fit at first, but then all of a sudden it just and yeah, it's snug. It's there. Like you feel it. But you also feel pretty upbeat. You feel high alert. You know, like a jolt of caffeine hit your system almost.
So,
But like you're also a little on edge though. Like you know what I mean.
so if we're like walking, like speed walking side by side, and he's like actively trying to put on a cock ring, I think Ugly Jack is just gonna sprint and start screaming.
And we'll say that is what alerts the party. And instead of paying attention to the guard, they now run after the screaming Jack. And Roran, who presumably has got a bit of a funny walk as his new magical item adjusts itself.
Can I? Is it a single guard?
It was just one guard that was that Jack tried to frame the Asians that he just swindled.
So could I leap down and do a like surprise bite attack on this guy?
You want to just attack the lonesome guard? Yeah, and you're a rogue, so I mean, I'm not sure about your subclass, but it's a fucking one shot. And we'll call that advantage because you were a rogue that is literally sneak attacking him. Like he is completely unaware you were there. You did in fact roll a good stealth, so.
Okay, so I will. I'm not gonna jump down and fucking bite his dick off like I did Lady Gaga, but I'm going to uh, jump down with my rapier and fucking stab this motherfucker.
So as your well, actually, I don't know what Ribiday is doing, but Jack and Roran are effectively running off, and you attack the guard. Um, with a rapier. What was your to hit?
Oh shit! The hit is going to be.
And that was with advantage, given the situation.
Oh yikes! Okay. With advantage. Oh, that's not good. Blah, 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 16.
Yeah, that still hits. So I guess roll me damage on this poor unsuspecting guard that is just like a little bit suspicious of your weird friend that ran off.
So we are going to do a 1d8. Do, 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 do. Six, 12, 4 plus 11, 23 with the sneak attack.
Ugh, 23 damage. How do you want to kill this unsuspecting guard?
So he's gonna just pop down behind him. And he's going to just take his rapier and just kind of joust it straight up center lane there between his cheeks, straight through his asshole.
Oh, so you just skewer this poor guard like a fucking bob?
Exactly. Yep, that's it.
He collapses to the ground, and just basically silently. I mean, you were silent and deadly. You were everything a rogue needed to be in that moment. Although I don't know that needed to happen. It happened. I assume you loot his body. So,
Definitely.
fucking Christ. So you loot the innocent guard's body that you mercilessly slaughtered for doing literally nothing but being vaguely suspicious of your friend, but still staying in his post and not pursuing him. And on
Fully
his person,
justified, for the record. Continue.
you find a can of Axe body spray and a locket. Do you open the locket?
I mean, out of concern and curiosity, for sure.
You open the locket and you see a photo of Justin Bieber inside of the locket. And we'll say that the Axe body spray effectively is going to function as a dust of sneezing and coughing. I believe it makes everybody in a 30-foot radius, when you unleash it, roll. I think it's a Constitution save. I'll have to look up the item to see if they are like staggered by the smoke. And the locket with Justin Bieber's photo in it is just a locket with Justin Bieber's photo. He was a big fan. It was actually his daughter's favorite musical artist, and that was the one thing that they could connect on. And yeah, you now have that locket and a can of Axe body spray.
Hashtag worth it.
Okay. I'm going to pocket the locket and take the spray and kind of just take a little whiff of it and maybe tuck it in to my satchel.
All right. So as Jack is running away and Roran is presumably following him, Wayne, after slaughtering that poor guard for no reason and stealing his loot, I assume makes his way toward the party. Where's Ribbiday at in all of this? You were prepared to throw shit if the guard reacted, but he did not react, correct?
Correct. So I'll just start making my way back towards everybody, just jumping on people's heads, shoulders. If I see anything shiny, try and grab it.
Roll me perception on shiny things.
14.
Let's see. Yeah, you find one item. So I drew the card being a motherfucking sorcerer. So I'm going to say that you can have a spell scroll of any spell up to level 3 from the sorcerer's spell list.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll snatch that and keep running off.
Sick.
All right, so presumably there's a brief time lapse and the party reconvenes. Where do you imagine the four of you reconvene? I'm going to roll a die to see who picks where you guys go next. That is a 3, and on my list, that is Will. Will, in this small town that has all of your run-of-the-mill stores and things that a town would have and a small forest surrounding it, where do you think that you guys meet up?
Is there a guild hall?
We've already established that canonically there's no guild hall, because why would you ever write a guild hall into a story and then not build it out?
Alec.
Hit balls. How about a bathhouse?
I love it. There's a bathhouse. It's called Buds and Suds.
So yeah, I feel after making his kill there with the guard, he would try to once again get under the cover of the shrubbery nearby, and maybe try to maybe see if there was a area that would be suitable for his team. And upon looking around, I think Wayne would have spotted a bathhouse, and it being warm and him being a full-blooded creature, he would want to make his way there.
All right, so Wayne leads the party to a bathhouse called Buds and Suds, and as you guys walk into the bathhouse, it is like just a stereotypical medieval bathhouse. There's a series of very large, what would essentially be medieval hot tubs, being periodically refilled by like workers with large jugs of boiling water, and it's very steamy and aromatic, and it smells vaguely of herbs and kind of sweat. It's like a little dirty, but not that bad, and relaxing for the most part. And you see, as you enter, you are greeted by Count Chocula, who says, "Have you come to rest your bones?"
I think
Go ahead.
I think that like Roran's kind of like feeling a little like energized still and a little weird. So he's kind of like just kind of like bouncing on his toes a little bit, kind of like jittery. He's just like, yeah, we had a really traumatic experience over at the tavern, fires, heroin. It was all bad. A whole lot of weird people you have in this town. Yeah, we just want a nice little soak and to relax a little bit.
Well, I would be more than happy to accommodate your party, if you would like to pay the fee.
How much is that fee exactly?
Well, we don't really work with the currency here. You see, I make my lifeblood through, well, blood. And sometimes that has adverse effects. If you would like a soak in the bathhouse, it will invigorate you, but the effect of me taking your blood may have consequences.
So wait, you drink his blood, and then all of us get to take a bath?
Oh no, it is individual.
Well, that's a fucked up deal.
Well, why would I suck his blood for you to soak?
Because then I don't get bit, and I still get a bath. Duh.
Wait,
Well,
so
this is a paying business. I cannot function if I do not make my money.
this whole town is just cool with you sucking their blood for baths?
Yes, it's very weird, but like back in the ancient times, my people, they made a pact with the town, and a lot of things happened. But either way, it's cool as long as I only do it within these four walls, and of course with your consent.
This is the weirdest town we've ever been to.
Oh, sure, it's weird. I have to be invited in anytime I have to go to my friend's house. I have to knock every time. Do you know how much people hate knocking? They tell me I can just enter, but I have to get welcomed every time. Yes, it's weird for me too. Things happen. Walls are weird. Is this really what we're getting hung up on now? Would you like to soak in the magical baths?
I don't know. You seem really shady. This is I'm finding it really difficult to believe that you actually have friends. There's no way.
I find it hard to believe that in a public space in this day and time, you're really giving me shit. I mean, in a vague way, it's a little bit racist against vampires. I mean, we're not all bad. It's just a handful of us. I mean, I'm trying to make an honest business here. Just make an honest living.
Can I insight check to see if I am being racist towards vampires?
Yeah, roll me an insight. We'll just call that DC 10. Like, you know it or you don't.
Oh, I got it. Natty 20 for the record, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, you are kind of stereotyping vampires, but like he's definitely playing it up a little bit. Like he's not as offended as he's leading it on to seem.
Riveday.
Go ahead.
Riverday's gonna transform back into his bug self, and then he's going to cast Charm Person onto the vampire.
Okay. Let me see. Let me find a vampire stat block real quick. And what is that? Is a charisma save?
Wisdom.
Wisdom save. Gotcha.
16.
Gotcha. All right. +2. He failed. He's charmed.
So he's gonna go up to him and just be like, "So you wouldn't want my blood, as it's buggish. The orc is probably tainted. It's only that human blood that you probably want. So how about the four of us, and you just take from the human?"
So what you're saying is that I drink the big one's blood and then everybody sucks. That seems very reasonable of you. And then he immediately moves toward Jack, but like while gesturing to the party to like pass by him to go to the baths.
Roran just bolts by.
Jack just stares at this vampire like stoically.
You're just gonna take it?
We'll see. Well, I'm just gonna stare him down for now.
I mean, he's moving in. Like he's accepting that as like like a done deal.
Maybe, I mean, this would require a little bit of backtracking, but I mean, on the way to the bathhouse, was there any like places that were maybe like I don't know, a candy shop or a place that might have been had sweets? Because if
Sweets, yeah. I mean,
correctly,
there would have been like a series of like bakeries and small shops. You could probably find some like confections on your way.
like maybe a something. I mean, he is Count Chocula after all, right?
He did, in fact, introduce himself as Count Chocula, and he does bear a striking resemblance to the cereal mascot.
So
if
I
he
mean,
comes in for a bite and he smells like chocolate, I think I'm gonna bite him back. Go ahead.
I'll aid
Will.
him with that.
Should we eat this guy?
Are we gonna bite back this motherfucker?
So what did you want to do with those confections, Will, as Count Chocula is moving past your party to go chomp down on a Jack after being sold out by Riveday?
So if we maybe, I mean, if we're gonna kind of dial it back a little bit and say we just stopped at a sweet shop, maybe. Oh, I don't know. This makes no fucking sense. This is crazy.
Are you attempting to like bribe Count Chocula with chocolate?
I mean, yeah, in my mind, but I mean, to be honest with you, I think I would have hid just instead. Would have no reason to go and grab sweets before coming to a
That is
bath.
fair. If you're thinking with your lizard brain, I feel like shopping for confections is probably not something you would have done in the moment.
Gotta be honest, yeah.
Fair enough. In that case, Jack, roll me perception for a smell check as Count Chocula moves in to accept his payment from you.
12 on the die becomes a 15.
You smell him, like you get a pretty good whiff. He doesn't smell like chocolate though. He smells like bergamot and like a little bit of iron, which you would probably understand to be blood. But he goes in and he takes a chomp out of you, and you're going to take 1 point of damage from his bite, and then roll me a Constitution saving throw. We're gonna call this DC 18.
Okay, con save. I get a +8. So 10 on the die plus 8 comes out to 18 on the money.
Fuck! It meets. It beats. So you would have magically just received a plunger to the face had you failed that Constitution saving throw from his bite. But luckily for you, you just kind of shrug it off. You take a little bit of damage, and he's like, "See, it wasn't so bad. I don't know why you were so opposed. Your friends, yeah, it is what it is." And he just kind of like ushers you toward the baths. Presumably, you guys climb into the baths, and oh man, how do I want to do this? In the bath, I imagine you guys all get in one very large pool together, and also in that pool is Christopher Walken. And for shits and giggles, let's draw a second card. It's Christopher Walken, and also, let's see, I'll roll a 1d4 here. It's a 3. Also, Wayne's grandmother.
There's a lizard lady and Christopher Walken.
Oh,
Yep.
bitch.
Nice.
They are in the steaming baths with you.
Wayne will be kind of sorrow in front of her and be like, sorry, Petra.
Sorry, say that again.
Wayne will be a little bit sorrow in front of his grandmother and being like, I'm sorry about grandfather died.
Oh, it's okay. I've made a new friend here. I'm rather fond of him. And she's like running her fingers through Christopher Walken's hair. And then she says, "It's so good to see you." And then she stands up, and she is fully nude.
You've been a tight grandma.
No, like we do. I gotta stay active. And she just like winks at you and wraps a towel and exits the pool area.
Wayne will get up from the bathhouse and kind of follow.
You're following the your grandma.
My new grandma.
Your naked grandma.
All right. Is the rest of the party following their party member, or are you guys chilling in the bath with Christopher Walken?
Yeah, no way, man. I got my blood sucked for this, and I've got like some crusty stains on this sweet outer space uniform I need to wash out. So like, I'm jumping into one of the tubs, and I'm not taking any of my clothes off. I'm like soaking, scrubbing it, and I'm gonna kind of turn and point out, a fucking.
So this is kind of some bullshit. Seriously. So first of all, Roran gets us fucked over, and we get captured. Then he goes and steals some beers that lead to like a shitty series of events that basically burned down a bunch of shit and accidentally killed a bunch of people and possibly got innocent people hooked on heroin. And then he takes us to a bathhouse where I'm the one that gets bit. This is some bullshit, you guys. I don't know what's going on here, but we need to rectify the situation. And once again, we have lost the lizard.
There's so much wrong with the retelling of that story. I don't even know where to begin.
You're on my shit list, Roran. I'm just saying. It's like bad decision after bad decision consistently. You should take a break.
You were the one that sold the heroin to the visibly bad at math Asians.
Look what you made me do. That's all I'm saying.
You know what? Just clean off your crusty new outfit. I'm just gonna soak in this bath next to this nice older gentleman.
And Jack, as you settle into the bath in your new, a little overly tight uniform. As you sink into the bath, the crustiness of your uniform begins to rehydrate, and you see like sort of white flakes kind of slowly peeling off of your uniform and then dissolving, and almost as if it were an oil sheen, the pool begins to get a bit of a shimmer. And I need the entire party and Christopher Walken to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Would it
We're
count
gonna
if
call
I-
it. You were already out of the pool. You were actually totally fine. And Alec, for reference, this was a magical item, so he is effectively washing the magic off of it.
That's a 19 for Jack.
I got a 19 too.
What's the roll?
Con save.
8.
8.
Yep.
All right. So unfortunately, you were the only one who failed, aside from Christopher Walken, and you and Christopher Walken immediately begin lactating.
Hold up. He's a bug. Does he even have nipples?
Where do you lactate from, Chris?
I'm assuming there's stuff down by the thorax, so it looks more like
So Wayne climbs out of the pool to follow his towel wrapped lizard grandmother as Jack rinses off his uniform, creating effectively a magical pool that causes people to lactate. And you notice as Ribidae, actually, you probably don't even see Ribidae happening because it's under the water, I assume. And therefore, you really just see Christopher Walken lactating incessantly. And like this weird sheen forming in the pool. What are you guys doing?
I think they're going to take pregnancy tests.
Roll me a Constitution check. This was magical semen.
Wait, me or them?
Everyone?
Anybody in the pool, I guess.
This one comes out to a 21.
I got a same roll, 19.
Oh, Jesus. Chris, what'd you get?
a
Please.
19.
Oh, thank God. All right, yeah. You guys pass. However, despite the fact that you guys are unaware that Ribidae is effectively lactating under the water, Christopher Walken is visibly lactating, and then he starts freaking out and he stands up and he like tries to cover his nipples, and as he stands up, you notice that he's got like a sizable, like 8-month deep baby belly. He just looks down and looks at you and faints.
I think everyone's gonna just nod, stand up, and get out of the pool, and then walk off towards where Wayne went to follow his grandma, because surely that can't be as weird as what's going on right here.
You're fooled.
I for sure follow. I follow suit. Ugly Jack will follow Roar in hopes of getting out of future child support cases.
I mean, to be fair, the semen was none of your guys's. It was already on the uniform when it got traded. So, that being
Ugly
said,
Jack makes a mental note to talk to those heroin hoarding Asians later.
oh God, yeah, you gotta inform them that they've impregnated Christopher Walken. Jesus fucking Christ. So we flash back to you guys moving toward Wayne, and Wayne running toward his towel-wrapped lizard grandmother. What exactly are you doing, Wayne?
Like, I kind of see his grandma.
I
Getting
can't
up.
hear you, bud.
You can't hear. Can you hear me now?
That's better.
So seeing his grandma kind of leave the hot tub or pool area, leaving, he would briskly kind of follow behind, like, grandma, what are you doing with that man? And kind of insinuating, like glancing over with this kind of cockeye over to Christopher Walken.
I was living out my golden years.
Grandfather, he just dropped not even 2 months ago, and I had to, take his ashes. I found his ashes in a knapsack. Like, what? How did we even find these?
You found your grandfather's ash. How did you find your grandfather's ashes in a knapsack? We buried him. Those must have been somebody else's grandfather's ashes.
Oh, it said granddad's ashes.
But you're not the only one with a grandfather. What did you do with somebody else's grandfather's ashes?
That's you have so much on your mind, and I don't think you should have to worry about that. But I just want to make sure you're being healthy, and that human. I mean, you. It's not like you, Grandma, to explode outside of our racial territory.
Just hold on. Oh, honey. And she puts a hand on your shoulder and she just says, your grandfather and I were far more experimental than I think you knew. And this is what he'd want me to do.
I always thought that as Granddad as a traditionalist and an opportunist. But perhaps you're right.
And she just gives you a solemn nod and she says, well, I've got to go take a dump. I was holding it in while I was in the pool, and well, quite frankly, this conversation's really causing it to be a buzzer beater situation. And then she like waddles off, leaving you standing in the bathhouse as your party comes back up to you. And I would say that you guys probably have enough time for like one more area of the town that you could gallivant through, and I'm going to let you discuss that as I take a bathroom break.
Yeah, I mean, Wayne, so. I mean, we should probably get out of here because your grandma got that guy pregnant in there, so we gotta go.
Our genes are pretty strong.
Big Warren's just standing there, like fully nude, still, just like hands on his hips, chest puffed out, just like showing off his new ring. Just like, so what do you guys think of the new jewelry I got? It's making me feel kind of weird, but I like it.
Wayne's going to look around and just immediately, seeing that he's fully nude, kind of look for like a cock ring or like something on his balls,
Oh, it's 100% a cock ring.
and kind of see where it's at. And by like, I don't. Do we ever roll out like dick length?
3 whole inches.
Is that, are we just rolling? Because I don't think I rolled it for mine. Is that, are we just like doing a
It was
1d12?
roll a d12.
I am not well endowed.
Since this is kind of a sacred moment, I'm going to do that in chat.
You doubled mine.
Oh man.
We got 1, 2, 3, and then fucking Ribiday over there with the 10.
Ugly Jack is clearly on steroids.
Ribiday's just
Oh,
a
Jesus.
fucking hog.
Yep. Nothing to brag about here.
So where should we go to next in this fine little town that I feel like we're on the brink of ruining?
I figure we should just go full ham and continue to just ruin it. This feels like a raid and pillage moment. I mean, he's already stealthily took down one of the guards. We could potentially start a couple more fires, round up some hostages, take them for everything they got. I don't know. I have no idea, really. I'm just kind of spitballing here.
I mean,
If it wasn't your grandma, I probably would have tried to take her down, and not in a sexual way.
I mean,
Ribiday would want to go to the theater district to see if his love is performing somewhere.
Yes, let's do that.
That's the answer.
Perfect.
Also, as a monk, I have unarmored defense, so I could just go around naked and still have the same AC.
Same, actually.
Nice.
AC 18, motherfucker.
Damn.
So that was a lot to follow. But I listened to all of that. And what I've gathered is you were going to the theater district, some of you still completely nude, to find whose lost love?
Ribiday, his androgynous.
Oh my
tiger
god, you're going
riding-
looking for David Bowie. What a way to wrap this up. You guys might actually make this out without like an actual combat, because I don't feel like running a full combat in a situation like this. And I like that this could potentially end in a love story. This is this is refreshing. So as you guys make your way to the theater district, who is nude?
Roran is showing off his nice new ring.
And Wayne doesn't have to wear armor, so I'd imagine he would just leave the bathhouse au naturel.
Yeah, and being a bug, I don't think Ribiday would really wear clothes.
So yeah, what I was picturing out of this situation. Actually, what's Jack doing?
I would accompany them to the theater, but I think Jack would continue to wear his far too small, kind of like super tight leotard.
So we see, yes, a massive human in an overly tight Star Trek uniform that is no longer crusty, but also no longer magical. So effectively, it is a costume. It is no longer chainmail.
I'll take it.
And then everybody else is nude. However, a lizard folk and what is it, Thrycreen? Presumably, you don't look that out of character when you're nude, just given your physical form. So the only person that really sticks out in terms of nudity is Roran, who is rocking a nice new magical item on a rather small appendage, given his size, which I assume your opposing half-orc size, probably just like from a perspective basis, makes it look even smaller.
Yeah.
So wait, you're a half orc with a 1-inch penis?
No, 3 inches.
But it looks like
gotcha.
one because he's that big.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. As you were.
Oh, you know what, Sean? That's actually a funny point. It is medieval times, so I can't imagine manscaping was like a huge thing back then. Alec, roll me a d4 to determine your dick size versus bush size. You rolled a 3 initially, so you need to get less than a 3, or else it really just looks like a mushroom in a hair patch.
Haha.
There we go, poking through.
Yep, just a little bit poking out. Just enough to see the ring.
Like a
It
groundhog.
looks
in
like
the
it's
spring.
buried in a bird's nest.
Yeah.
I flick
And
it.
I actually think Roran would be shirt cocking it, still wearing like his like upper torso clothes, and then
Oh
just
god,
like maybe
you're just Winnie the Pooh in it
yeah.
across town.
Hmm.
Fair enough, and I believe that Ugly Jack said he flicked it, so roll to hit. Just an unarmed strike.
What's that? A strength modifier?
Yes, I believe so.
That's 19.
And you're a fighter, so add your proficiency.
So like 24.
I'm assuming that hits. Yeah, roll roll unarmored damage, or sorry, unarmed damage.
D4 plus
It is
strength.
Yeah.
So I have a 20 strength, so a 2 plus a 5 comes out to a 7.
You hear what sounds like, you know, the little door stoppers when you flick them, they're like boing, 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 boing. Like you hear that level of vibration, and you see a jolt ripple through the muscles of Roran as you flick the tip of his penis with acute accuracy.
I think Roran just kind of doubles over and holds his crotch and kind of lets out like a low whine.
Okay, I guess we're even since you totally fucked us in the beginning and then you stole those beers and made us burn down that place and sell all that heroin. I guess we're even now. We're back. We'll call it quits. Bygones be bygones and all that.
And as this conversation's happening, a flyer blowing in the wind kind of wafts from one building to another, and the camera is following the paper. And you see the party in the distance as the paper slowly gets closer and closer and snags on a few things and kind of ruffles and then flies back into the air. And it's going to land on Roran. This flyer lands directly on your face. And as you peel it away, you look down and it says, "One night only. Androgynous sexual being David Bowie on his magical flying lightning tiger." And
Roran
it's effectively a flyer for his show that is conveniently tonight.
is gonna kind of like almost giddy schoolgirl scream and then run up and throw his arm around Ribiday and just like pull his face in close next to his and hold it the flyer right in front of his face. It's happening. He's or she is here.
Take a look at it. Sweet. I must go and just take off towards where they are playing.
Yeah. Ribiday's not as excited as I thought it would be, but all right, let's go. And then just kind of jogs off after him.
So as you guys make your way to, oh man, fantasy name generator. I guess we're gonna call this the Rosebud Hall, where David Bowie is playing. You arrive at the queue line, and you see a sign that says "Sold Out" nailed above the main entrance, and a bouncer checking people, like a series of bouncers checking people as they're ushering them into the hall for the performance. And for shits and giggles, the bouncers are actual mutants with medical conditions and no superpowers.
All right.
All right, so while running ahead, you're going to see this green mist start to kind of come out from Ribiday's thorax and engulf the other party members as he casts gaseous form. So as I reach back and touch them, they all turn into gas. So we just float.
Okay, so the entire party becomes gas. Where do you want to go from here? And is that gas like? Is it kind of like the Invisible Man in a cloud of smoke, where like you can see the silhouette that is made of gas, or are you completely transparent?
We are misty clouds.
Okay, so it is visible, but like hardly, essentially.
Yeah, and it doesn't hold a particular shape.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, once getting through and once getting through and out of range where the bouncers would see us, I drop the spell and go hunting for where David Bowie could be.
Roll me an insight check.
Insight. How about perception?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say you could look around and try to locate like a sign or something that might direct you to like a backstage area or something. I was thinking insight to determine like where he would be within the building. But perception works.
Then 16.
16? Yeah, you definitely see signs that say like employees only and, you know, like bar staff only, whatever. You do notice a door off to the side of the stage that says like cast and crew only. And the building is filling up. Oh, you're just going to try to kick through the door? There are bouncers by the door, specifically by the stage door, since that leads back to where the artist would be.
So I will...
And here, let me roll. So there are 2 bouncers. And the bouncers at these doors are... oh, God. I shit you not, I actually drew my own name. I have a custom my name card that I got from like a holiday pack. So I am one of the bouncers. And the other bouncer is a giant sperm from outer space.
So yeah, as I go slamming up to the door, there's always these invisible spores that are just surrounding me. And so I'm going to use a wild shape to channel magic into my spores. So now any creature nearby me within 10 feet takes 1d4 necrotic damage. Unless it succeeds on a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. So a Constitution saving throw. I would assume the giant sperm from outer space, given that it is a giant sperm, we'll say that as like a nice +3. I feel like con's a pretty good one, a good stat for that, and that's an 18. So for 21. I, however, would say I have a +1 to con because I am only vaguely healthy. And I rolled a 12 for a 13. How's that stack up?
So he succeeds, so he wouldn't take any damage, but you do.
All right, roll me necrotic damage. I will say that I am just a base NPC, so I have like, I don't know, 10 health.
I think it's 4 for a commoner.
Oh God, is it really? Let me see. Citizen or like NPC
I don't think
stats.
Congress have a lot of like a lot of HP.
You would have brewer's stats, so you would probably be a little
True.
beefier than the average commoner.
Fair enough. Yeah, there's not like a good stat block I'm seeing. We'll just say like 12. We'll call it 12 HP. Like slightly hardier than your average commoner.
All right, so that's 6 points necrotic.
Yeah, I immediately buckle, and I feel like with it being necrotic damage, I imagine it is like the equivalent of bubble guts. Is how he would react, or I would react. But I assume like you have incapacitated me, although there is still a giant sperm from outer space. Which I just made the connection that like, how funny is that if you're looking for David Bowie / Ziggy Stardust and one of his bouncers is a giant sperm from outer space?
That is a good fucking clever.
The cards tell a story, man. But how are you slipping past this giant sperm?
We're not. We're
still
killing
banging
these
on the
motherfuckers.
door, and every 6 seconds they have to make another Constitution saving throw.
Jeez. Well, he definitely failed the second one, and we'll just say that second tick probably knocked me unconscious, realistically. And at the sight of me going unconscious, the giant sperm is now distracted as he tries to signal to the other bouncers across the room. Which is my worthless son. So I guess I had a son in this alternative reality, and he's fucking worthless, and he's across the room, and the giant sperm is failing to get his attention as I am collapsed on the floor. So there is now a pretty clear pathway through the door as the bouncers are thoroughly distracted.
All right, so I'll burst in through the door and see if I see David Bowie.
You burst into what is the backstage area, which is a variety of cast members, crew, and other members of the staff, just like kind of passing through, carrying things. There's a lot of last minute preparations, costumes going by, and every which way.
Then I'd rush through them, but that hill of spores is still going. So if anybody's in my
God, you're you're just slowly killing all of the staff, and nobody knows why. I'm just gonna roll like a base insight to see if anybody in this staff knows what's going on. What is your spell save DC? We'll make that the DC for them to understand what's happening to them.
16.
All right. They rolled a 10. They have no fucking clue, but like everybody is feeling violently ill as you move through this hallway. It is like when somebody, like an evil person, walks through a crowd or like a field of flowers, and the flowers start wilting, except it's people. Where's the rest of the party as all of this is happening? Like your friend is very forcibly pushing his way into the backstage area to locate his long lost love. He has incapacitated one bouncer and distracted the other one, and made his way backstage.
I want to kill the distracted bouncer with an axe blow to the head. And I want to put the incapacitated one over my shoulder and follow him.
Are you doing this blatantly? You are in a crowded room of people awaiting David Bowie's performance.
Okay, that new plan. I just follow him. I think about killing him and kidnapping Dakota Harbert's real body, but then I bail on it last second and follow.
Okay, so you leave the body and the distracted bouncer, and you just make your way backstage.
Correct.
Okay. Where does that leave us with Roran and Wayne?
Okay, so there's a worthless son.
There is a worthless son dressed as a bouncer across the room, but he's like I don't know. He's like macking on some girls. He's not doing his job. He's just like standing in there and being like, "Yeah, I'm the bouncer. That's right." And then his dad, apparently, who is me, is unconscious on the floor, and there's just a giant Martian sperm attempting to get the worthless son's attention, and two of your friends have made their way backstage. This is a lot to follow.
Oh man. I guess he just turns to Wayne. I don't know what to do. Do we just follow them? What's the plan here?
Wayne's going to kind of look amongst the crowd and kind of with his eye. Are there any horses around here that might drive?
I'm sorry, any what?
Horses.
Horses? No, you're inside of a concert hall.
Sure.
You see like a
Maybe
couple of
have
bars
horses.
and like a kitchen area, and then like a bunch of patrons kind of lining up near the stage area.
But you're telling me that there's no chance of a particular horse being around this area that has no limbs, a telepathic horse.
You know what? Let's just roll you a flat luck check. I'll say if it is 10 or below, the horse has not managed to overcome the traumatic act of being nearly burned alive, and then gone to a concert on the same night. And he rolled a 2. He did not show up. There is no quadriplegic telepathic horse in the crowd to watch David Bowie. Unfortunately, he had other things happen today, and he had to sell his ticket last minute.
That's a shame. What a waste.
In fact, he was actually so distracted by the fire, he didn't even get to sell his ticket, so he's really just out that money, and it's just been a horrible day overall.
All right. So I guess Wayne is going to take a glance around and see if he does indeed see David Bowie around the area, knowing very little of the love interaction and whatnot.
Yeah, you look around, and I mean, you don't even have to roll a check for that one. You can tell that like the crowd is queuing up to watch the show, and everybody's kind of like piling in and getting into the pit area of this concert hall. But there's nobody on stage yet. Like the roadies and everything are like setting up and like placing the instruments and whatnot, and kind of like getting banners and everything up. But the show has not started yet. There is no Bowie in sight.
So that being said, Wayne is going to kind of sharpen his fangs a little bit, maybe wipe them, get them nice and glistening. Is there anybody around that is potentially a paramedic?
That is potentially a paramedic.
Yeah.
Let's
Someone
just
that
roll a
could be
luck
on
check.
site maybe for like Lady Gaga. Someone that might have been kind of on the sidelines there waiting for potential.
That's a nat 1 on the luck check. So you don't see anybody immediately that would resemble or give you an inkling of being a paramedic. They're just standard villagers.
Ugly
From what you
Jack
can tell.
has about 7 ounces of heroin. That's kind of like a paramedic, I guess. Not really. That's a type of anesthesiologist, technically. Maybe your last one, but whatever.
I guess would Wayne see the black tar heroin?
You would have been aware that Jack has it because you guys all opened that sack at the beginning. Like when you were at the tavern, you all opened the bag together and each of you took an item. So you know he has it. And he did mention doing a drug deal with some Asians that are bad at math. So you know that he's still got a good portion of it.
So I guess Wayne will approach him and be like, "You happen to have any more of that black stuff? That thing that got those Asians all shitty. I mean, they're shitty anyways, but they're math."
Brother, I was hoping that you would ask, of all people. If anybody needs to calm the fuck down, it's for sure you. And I'll hand him give him a couple ounces. I'll give him 2 ounces of black tar Mexican heroin.
And once he'll kind of take it and nod his head and just, "Thank you, brother. You won't regret this." And maybe if sneakily, before things kind of start, make his way towards the back of the stage, or toward like maybe the back, just where he wouldn't be seen, maybe where the cast would hang out.
Are you going through like the same door that your other 2 party members like slipped into the backstage area through, or are you trying to literally like climb up on the stage and go through the side of the stage?
No, definitely through where my other teammates had gone through.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so 3 of you guys are back there now, and Roarin, what's up there, bud?
I think realizing that one, he's really excited to help Ribiday find his long lost love, and he noticed that Ribiday already took down one of the bouncers and kind of injured the second, and not wanting these bouncers to turn around and foil our love story for Ribiday, he's going to attack the giant space sperm to try and just take him out.
Jesus. So this innocent, distracted bouncer that has not impeded the first 3 members of your party, but he must go. Fair enough. Yeah, make your attack.
Yeah, I'm gonna burn 2 key points. I've been wanting to do this all. I've just been waiting for the opportune moment.
Oh Christ, you're about to just unleash on this poor man.
I am.
Or this poor sperm. You're just beating a giant
the
sperm. I don't know what makes it alien. Is it just like a sperm with 2 antennae?
but no, I took the Disciple of the Elements track for Monk. So I'm basically an avatar. But I'm going to use Fist of Unbroken Air. Use 2 key points. And essentially, I airbend a large fist of air. Anyone within 30 feet, any creature within 30 feet that I choose, they have to make a strength saving throw. On a failure, it takes 3d10 bludgeoning damage for each, and I can push a creature up to 20 feet away from you and knock it prone. So essentially, he just kind of like sees everyone running backstage, sees one of the bouncers just drop from this like these green spores that like choke him and make him throw up and vomit and shit, and sees this other giant bouncer, and to mitigate any potential security issues, he just kind of just takes a couple steps forward and just kind of jumps and turns sideways in midair and just like releases out like this one punch, and just a giant gust of hard air just plummets into this space sperm. So it's a DC 14 strength saving throw. I don't know
All
how
right.
much.
I would say a giant sperm, given its size and proclivity to be a bouncer, we're just going to give it like a +2. That's 12.
Aha! That's a failure. So he takes 3d10 bludgeoning damage. That is 12, 17 bludgeoning damage. He is knocked 20 feet backwards and falls prone.
Well, he was standing against a wall, but given the force of your blow, I'm going to treat that as like falling damage, and I'm pretty sure you take a d6 for every 10 feet. So that 20 feet that you just punched him into a wall with in terms of force, he'll take an additional 8 points of damage and effectively splatters across the wall, unleashing a massive torrent of semen that covers everybody within a 10-foot radius. But since 3 of your party members are through the door, you're going to cover a handful of crowd members and roll me a dex check to see if you can avoid the torrent of semen that you just unleashed.
That's fair.
Because you just obliterated him.
That is a 10 dex saving throw.
A 10? Yeah, no, it was like you were in hand-to-hand combat. That was a DC 14. You were effectively covered in space semen.
You know what? Worth it for my friends. I don't even hesitate. I just sprint through the door after the rest of my party.
God damn it, that fucking gif is perfect. But yeah, the party reconvenes in the hallways, slowly watching the cast and crew members begin to choke and cough and sputter and drop to their knees, and you see tiny little sprouts and spores growing on their skin as your druid friend actively is injuring everybody in in range of him as he walks down the hallway to find the green room. And on the outside of the green room, you notice a man standing there. An evil man in evil clothes, which is the card I drew. And he is armed with hormone injections. What do? He's standing guard to the green room that you would presume the main act, David Bowie, is probably being held in.
Wayne is going to promptly take out his Axe body spray and use it.
Okay. So you're in an enclosed space, like a nice, narrow backstage hallway. We said that was the dust of sneezing and choking. Let me pull up the stats for that real quick. Presumably the whole party was together and you walked up to the evil man in evil clothes. This affects every creature within a 30-foot radius. If you don't think that you would have been within 30 feet of the evil man standing guard in front of the green room, just let me know. But that being said, if everybody's in there, it's a DC 15 Constitution saving throw, or you become unable to breathe while sneezing uncontrollably. You are effectively incapacitated and suffocating. And you can make a saving throw at the end of each of your turns, ending the effect on a success.
Sorry, guys. It's lizard brain.
So evil man in evil clothes fails his check.
15.
17.
You guys both
21.
passed. You pass as well. I also will. Wayne needs to roll that check as well. He is not immune to the effects. Yeah, con save. DC 15.
Okay, plus 3. 21.
Yeah, you pass. The evil man in evil clothes drops his hormone injections, which effectively are just like syringes that he was holding, and immediately exits the cloud of smoke, coughing and choking and unable to like see or act. He's just like blindly kind of making his way through this, searching for fresh air. And the path to the green room is now open.
Can I fly and make an attack on this man?
Yeah, I mean, he's running away. I would say that because he's incapacitated as well, that's advantage on the attack, which means you're getting sneak attack. I mean, he's running out of a cloud and he's incapacitated, and you're totally fine. So
Can I throw a dart at him at the same time?
I don't see why not.
We just all jump him together.
Yes, you can certainly attack the evil man in evil clothes.
Yes. I actually get 2 attacks per action, so I can throw 2 darts.
In that case, how do the two of you want to do this? Because I'm just going to assume at this point in the evening, this is wrapping up, and like you guys are about to unleash on him, and everything's with advantage. Like, I'm just going to give you the kill shot, but I want the two of you to describe how you do it together, like it's some sort of weird anime tag team moment.
I think throwing the darts, Roran would probably just aim for each of his Achilles tendons, like 1 dart to each heel, to like triple hit, make him like drop down to the ground.
And maybe like as he drops to the ground, he kind of like turns around because he wasn't expecting the attack, and you just see this lizard folk come flying out of this fog with his fucking fangs out and rapier, and just comes down and finishes the blow.
And as the two party members move to slay the incapacitated evil man in evil clothes, the green room is open. What are Jack and Ribiday doing? It's not open, I guess. The door or pathway to the door is open.
Ribiday is going to go bursting through the door.
So you kick in the door, and you see your stereotypical green room, although it's lit by braziers with a soft, magical blue and green hue, giving the room a nice, eerie kind of aura. And what you see across the room, laying on a fur carpet, is a half-naked David Bowie in the Burt Reynolds pose, like laying on his side with one knee up, just staring at you as if he's been awaiting your return the entire time. And as he opens his mouth, he doesn't speak words, but what resonates out is a series of clicks and chitters. For David Bowie, in his separation from you, has learned your native tongue. And he just whispers, "I knew you'd come." And then the tiger behind him stands up and lets out a massive, like, tiger growl. And you have effectively reunited yourself with your long-lost love, David Bowie, which we did not know was the point of all this, but we do now.
Before you keep going, upon seeing him, I would cast Entangle. Then on him and the tiger.
Fair enough. What is that, like a dex check? Or a dex save?
16 strength.
Oh, strength save. All right. Tiger's probably... Oh, fuck. There's probably actually a tiger stat block. I am so curious where you're going with this. Tiger passes, presumably with a 17. And David Bowie, he is magical, but he's probably more of a bard, so I'm going to say that's just a flat check. 15.
All right, so David Bowie fails, but the tiger succeeds.
The tiger breaks free and lets out a roar. And David Bowie, however, I imagine the vines come up and they wrap around like his hands and his legs. And he doesn't read the room. I think he thinks it's like lust takes over, and he just says, "Take me." But what comes out is like...
And Ribiday is going to pull out a scimitar and yell out, "You bitch! You gave me syphilis!" And then cut off his head.
I mean, I can't write a better ending than that.
I hear the
Wait.
all cast helps.
Jesus Christ. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. That was incredibly stressful to just like improv everything and try to keep track of it all. But holy shit, was that funny.
That was a
Yeah,
wild
man, that was a
ride.
wild ride. You did a good job with that, especially using the Cards Against Humanity. That was pretty clever. That was pretty fun.
That's definitely something I would do again. That was fucking funny. It's a little hard to roll with the punches, but you guys really took everything and just yes-anded. And I think all things considered, that was a good fucking time.
I actually, I never done monk before, but even just level 5, I liked it. That was fun. Even not even really doing much with the monk, just like seeing the stuff.
Yeah, the monk class is a lot of fun.
Also, blowing a giant space sperm up with airbending was pretty dope.
Yeah, that was probably cinematically like the death I could picture the best in my head. And then I just imagine this like giant wave cascading back toward you. Just completely covering you, but then you still have that look of success in your face.
It is not the outcome I planned, but I'll take it.
I mean, I wasn't
Uh.
planning on Lady Gaga's dick ticked off and fucking spitting it at a legless horse that was telepathic.
That really set the tone, you know.
Yeah,
It
you went
really
off the
did.
deep end. You were like a chaos lizard. It was crazy.
I was just like, must
Weird
kill.
horrors. Weird horrors, a bartender, some awkward moments with me stealing beer accidentally, and then, oh yeah, I'm gonna bite her dick off. And then it's just went off from there.
Bite her
Full
dick off and-
transparency. I remember you like saying you were going to go get beers, and I forgot that you did that when I like called out to introduce the bartender. So when I got called out, I just deflected it back at you and was like, yeah, well, you didn't role play that interaction, so technically speaking, you just went up, got beer, and came back. And I was like, ha.
Hey, I mean, makes sense.
I'm playing four-dimensional chess over here. Don't mind me.
You did a good job DMing that. I mean, the locations actually felt like they had a little bit of a decent story to utilize.
I was trying to roll with the punches on that one. I wanted to truly like let the cards run everything, but keep you guys engaged and not just like be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna like draw a card to see what you guys do or where you go. I was like, nope, I'm literally only gonna draw cards when I feel like something happens that's card worthy, like when I need to introduce a person or like talk about who's in the crowd or like, oh, there's this thing on the wall. Wonder what's on the wall. That's when you got your cock ring. Like, couple little things like that.
I feel like those were kind of cool, but the what set the tone for me for Ugly Jack, like I was gonna kind of play him a little different, but the first thing you gave Ugly Jack was 8 ounces of heroin. So I was like, well, I'm a drug dealer now.
This is the way the night is going.
Yeah, I figured like I obviously give you guys our magical items that we normally get or whatever items you want to play around with. If there's something specific that you thought would be funny, but then I was like, you have to come out of the gate strong. So first off, Chris, hats off to literally just creating a backstory based on some card draws, because that was awesome. And next time we do this, everybody's coming up with a backstory that way.
Yeah, that was clever. I like that.
It really set the tone. And then I wanted to give you guys just a random item, and I was like, it's like deck of many things right now. I'm just going to draw 4 cards and start this off and see how we run with this. And I think it definitely set the tone to like give you guys like black tar heroin right out of the gate. for one. I knew that was coming into play, but like everything else you guys drew, just it all came to fruition in a beautiful way.
It almost threw off the RP for me in such a way that like I seriously contemplated selling heroin to every NPC. Like the legless horse has got to be depressed. He probably needs some heroin, you know. And then I think you mentioned like cute little orphans at one point. Like they were for sure on the list, you know.
I just love that Will decided to throw a giant severed penis at essentially a cripple.
Yeah, when he not only like unsuccessfully spit the head of Lady Gaga's penis at the barkeep for no apparent reason, and then turned around and threw like a sizable black dick at him and knocked him out of his chair. It really took the party to a whole new level.
Yeah, well, you were extra chaotic tonight, and I low key loved it.
I usually I play like a little more reserved characters, and this was just kind of fun to be like, you know what would a insane person do?
Dude, I love that you
do
let loose.
What would I do in this situation? And then you just did the opposite.
What's like the like natural reaction? Yeah, I'm gonna throw a dick at a limbless horse that is telepathically like talking to me and try to fucking make my way out of a burning place. The table is set on fire.
I hats off to the idea of playing like the lizard brain character, like that strictly runs off of survival instinct.
Yeah,
it's such a fun concept to just be like, I have no social skills. Like everything terrifies me.
And I dumped a bunch of points into charisma too, like just in case. But I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
I like how you made an incredibly charismatic character, but you never actually like attempted to use your charisma in any way outside of, I think, the performance where you were just waving around a giant severed penis.
Yeah. After, I mean, there was dicks getting waved, dicks getting bit off, dicks getting thrown, horses getting fucked up. At some point, lighting the bar on fire like I did was like the more reasonable thing to do.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck was that? Like, you just randomly lit the bar on fire. It was like, oh, your friend walks outside. What do you do? I doused the table in oil and light it on fire.
It's a great distraction.
I mean, fair point, but the horse was already knocked down behind the bar.
I felt the chaos needed a little push. You know, he left, so the entertainment was done. I don't know.
Jesus. Yeah, you guys definitely told a fucking story tonight. It was truly a blast to run that. And now we know that in a pinch, we have like a very easy last minute thing that requires no prep anytime we feel like playing. So
yeah, that's pretty awesome. That was hella fun.
Jesus. That one might not be... did you record that one, Sean?
Every minute of it.
Crazy.
No.
That one might not be able to be put online. That got a little... or what is it? Oh, fuck.
A little raunchy with some unintentional racism just
I was
because
thinking
fucking cards.
Yeah, I was thinking like NC-17 or something.
Not safe for work.
Yeah, I'll make sure to put a disclaimer on it or something, unless you would rather me just not post it.
Oh no, I don't give a shit. Nobody's gonna like call me out. I was drawing cards. Anything that came up that was problematic was based purely on the cards.
There's a whole following of about 10 people or so that follow our videos. So it's not like making it very far.
Honestly, I hope they listen to this one though, and it's just such a far departure from where we've been recently.
They're all Asian women that are just terrible at math.
and they're gonna be pissing writing letters.
They're all deeply offended.
I'm deeply offended. What happened here tonight was a travesty, but I had a very, very fun time chaperoning it.
Yeah, about as fun of a time as all those Asians had with all that heroin.
Jesus. All right, guys. Well, it's been fun, but I'm gonna go put my ass to bed. If we end up wanting to do a session on Friday, I guess we'll all figure that out in chat. But
All right, guys. Yeah, take it
Have a
easy.
good
I'll
night.
talk to you guys later. Keep in touch.
sweet night, guys.
That's good, y'all. Have a good night.